इतिहास का मैं आईना हूं, तहजीब का रंग सुनहरा हूं। गंगा जमुना मेरी आंखें, मैं नए भारत का चेहरा। मैं कल भी था, मैं आज भी हूं, मैं नवयुग का अंदाज भी हूं। सारी दुनिया का घर मुझ में, इस मिट्टी का आदर मुझ में। मैं देशभक्त भी गहरा हूं, मैं नए भारत का चेहरा हूं, मैं नए भारत का चेहरा हूं। मैं बेटी की मुस्कान में हूं, मैं नारी के सम्मान में हूं। मैं बेटी की मुस्कान में हूं, मैं नारी के सम्मान में हूं। विज्ञान में और किसान में हूं, हर वीर में और जवान में हूं। मैं सीमाओं का पहरा हूं, मैं नए भारत का चेहरा हूं, मैं नए भारत का चेहरा हूं, मैं नए भारत का चेहरा हूं। अब चांद पे पांव जमाना है, सूरज से आंख मिलाना है। एक नया सवेरा लाना है, संकल्प नया दोहराना है। न ठहरा था, न ठहरा हूं, न ठहरा था, न ठहरा हूं। मैं नए भारत का चेहरा हूं, मैं नए भारत का चेहरा हूं, मैं नए भारत का चेहरा हूं, मैं नए भारत का चेहरा हूं।
Namaskar sabhi ko. Why don't we start with a story? One day, the legendary artist Pablo Picasso was sitting at a cafe in Paris, and a woman recognized him, walked up to him, and asked if he could sketch something for her on a napkin. Picasso stared and just smiled, picked up a pencil, and in 30 seconds drew a simple but a beautiful sketch. And he handed it to her gently and said, "Ma'am, that's $10,000. Shocked, the woman said, "What? It took you just 30 seconds and you are asking me for $10,000?" And then Picasso replied, "No, ma'am, it took me 30 years to do that in 30 seconds. It's not about the time I spent doing it for you, but it's about the value I bring to the table." Let me ask you this question. Was it a negotiation? Or was that a handling? Or was he talking about a justification to the value he brings on table? Exactly. Let's ask ourselves, in today's time, 2025, are we here to negotiate on our skills, or are we here to talk what value we bring on table, or are we here to understand that how the other person would perceive us? Too many questions, isn't it? Ladies and gentlemen, namaskar aap sabhi ko. मैं हूं anchor Jyoti Sukumar and I welcome you to the Upskilling series and initiative by Eema Artiste Committee. As an artist myself, let me tell you that our work begins with passion. You can do this only if you're passionate about something, dil se re. But this passion, converting it into profession and doing it with professionalism is not easy. It is a serious business clarity demanded. Today, we open a powerful new chapter. It's not just a session, but it is a masterclass in mastering one of the most essential skill in the industry. Welcome you to the art of negotiation. Negotiation is not just about numbers, it's about recognizing your worth, articulating it well, and walking away when maybe it is not worth it. Whether you're an anchor, a singer, a dancer, a manager, or an entrepreneur, the truth is the talent needs a voice at the table too. And that voice must know how to express the worth, protect its value, close deals with dignity. And yes, ladies and gentlemen, at Eema, we believe every artist should be heard, should be valued, and be respected. We negotiate every day for our time, for our ideas, for our fees, and often for our respect. But very few times we are taught how to actually do it right, isn't it? So, this session is a spotlight on how we bring you the real strategies from our experts, how it's negotiated at the highest level, and insights. Because knowing your craft is power, but knowing how to price, position, and protect is truly an art. But before I just take directly to the masterclass session, I have someone really special to join me and address you all. We at this stage for this transformative session, the art of negotiation, is a gentleman who is a respected leader, a professional, a very sweet, smiled, and a kind hearted gentleman who is a firm believer that the power of knowledge and community is something will take you further. He believes in manifestation, he believes in your inner soul to your divine and connect with yourself first than anybody else. He's also someone who would feel free to just pitch in and direct you to the right path. And he would also take sometimes a session of meditation. Ladies and gentlemen, he's such a sweetheart. He's a part of Eema. And knowing his calm energy and insightful approach, he often leads attendants into the guided sessions. We're fortunate to have him along with us today, right now, and along with his busy schedule, of course, he has some time for us. So, ladies and gentlemen, please let's applaud together and welcome Secretary Eema, Mr. Taranveer Sahani. So, warm welcome.
Thank you so much, Jyoti. That was indeed a very beautiful introduction. Uh, and thank you, Gitika, for having us all here. And we have been working very tirelessly for so many months since we have started this new NAC, this new session. Big thank you to Gitika. As we had launched, I must say, Gitika, again, I should say Gitika had launched because she's working just as a very closely with the NAC for this, and all this hard work goes to Gitika. So this fundamental harmony kit, which is updated every quarter based on the entries and insights, uh, we are very happy to share this new edition. This is a new client feedback form template, which will now be officially included in the kit and made available on the website. Again, this is something very interesting. Uh, Earlier, artists were always, they used to ask, what should we do? And here we are all with answers and solutions. So this new client feedback form will definitely work with all of you. Please go through it. This form is designed as an artist, for an artist, by an artist to share with your client after an event. It's a simple but powerful tool to gather constructive feedback. Constructive, it's positive. Yes, you should carry back something back with you, build credibility, and help refine your craft with every performance. So whenever you're performing, yes, it should be applauded, and there should be people who should know what you're doing, and it should be appreciated. Let's make our solar plexus big. So this is for all the artists there, and thank you to all of you for you all are doing a fantabulous work. We are all very proud of you. Eema is proud of you. We are proud that you are a part of us, and whatever time we can give to upscale our artists, we shall always be there. Everyone has been working very hard on upskilling series, and I am excited to share that we have already planned 6 valuable sessions set to roll out very soon. And these topics will cover like how to use social media to drive your business, how to appropriately style your makeup based on type of event. So presentation is again something very important. First impression is the last impression. We all have been saying that, yes, it does matter a lot. As an event manager or maybe as an audience, it matters a lot. So please take me on that. Each session is designed to give you practical tools. So I think I officially launched the upskilling new client feedback form template for all of you to view. A big thank you to you, Gitika, for all your efforts. And also, each session is designed to give you practical tools to grow, evolve, and thrive in this dynamic industry. So this is all learning. Keep sharing, keep lifting each other up, and let us be all of us be a part of it. And we really would like to know your reviews on how this works for you. And we would also like to, once you get those forms back, do share with us so that we can, with the larger industry, we can share it with them so that we know how we have been working and how it works for all of us. Thank you so much. Over to you, Jyoti.
Firstly, let's congratulate each and every one of us for this new feather in our cap. One more document has been added, which actually will take us closer to more professionalism and the way we can get feedback. I understand we're talking about negotiation and the art, but then, yes, what we've launched today, kudos to each one of you at the Eema team who's made this possible. And thank you, sir, for launching this and for your insightful, valuable words. And now, ladies and gentlemen, it's time to hear from someone who truly embodies the voice, the vision, and the vitality of our artist community. An anchor par excellence, an actor with presence, and a leader with purpose. She has not only set benchmarks on stage but continues to raise the bar behind the scene and on screen as well. As the chair of the Eema Artist Committee, her belief in the power of continuous learning and dignified dialogue is what brings us all here today. Ladies and gentlemen, you know who I'm talking about, the ever smiling, the beautiful, the divine, and who we all look up to. I welcome Miss Gitika Ganjudhar on screen.
Namaste. I'd like to begin my short speech by thanking the Indian Defence Forces, the head of state, the Government of India, the administration of India, for navigating all of our citizens through some extremely critical times in the weeks gone by. Thank you, Dhanyavad, gratitude, Jai Hind. Friends, business must continue as usual. That is our dharma, that is our karma. And here we are. And what better business than to learn and upskill. मुझे याद है, when I was based in Delhi as a MC, in the hot summer months, business would dwindle in those days. The volumes of work would go down. And I would often think, what can I do to spend my time, invest it properly, to upskill myself. So in those days, I remember such programs and such sessions were not very easily available, but times have changed. We at the Eema Artist Committee, we are very happy to bring to you a whole new upskilling series. Not one, not two, but 6 different sessions on varied topics. Right from how to use social media to further your brand within the live industry, how to manage your time for success, how to do appropriate makeup for a particular kind of show, how to negotiate a good deal, and many more such sessions. I hope all of you take full advantage, register and log in for each one of these sessions. This is not just for artists, event managers, talent managers. You could join too. मुझे बचपन में याद है एक श्लोक पढ़ा था मैंने, विद्या ददाति विनयम विनयादयाति पात्रताम, which essentially means that knowledge brings humility and humility brings character. And character, I feel, is the prerequisite for a fine live artist. And character is achieved only through knowledge, learning, upskilling and refinement. I urge all of you to indulge completely in our new upskilling series from the Eema Artist Committee. But before I hand this back to the MC of today's event, I'd like to introduce to you 3 Eema Artist Brand Ambassadors. All of these 3 coincidentally are ladies, and they have over the last year and a half worked closely with me on different initiatives. And they've done so silently, quietly, without the want of acknowledgement or public spotlight. This itself is the essence of the Eema spirit. And today I am very happy to introduce them to all of you as the Eema Artist Ambassadors, who will work with me in close tandem on various initiatives. They are not a part of the Eema Artist Committee. They are Eema Ambassadors for Artists, and in the days ahead, in the months ahead, I hope that more of you will raise your hand and offer selfless service and join us as Eema ambassadors. Please put your hands together, even if virtually, for all three of them. Very soon, the backend team will project the creative that will show you who they are. All the three of you, I'm full of gratitude for your solid partnership that I've received. Amrita Joshi, my member from the West, Swati Sharma, my member from the North, and Arpita Chaudhary, my artist member from the East. Welcome as Eema Artist Ambassadors. Once again, very warm welcome to all three of you. It's time now to get down to upskilling with the all-new Upskilling series by the Eema Artist Committee. And before we start, once again, a huge shout out to all of our artist members. Please raise your hands and step forward to offer selfless service to Eema. There is a lot we need to do. There is a lot planned. I need each one of you and your hands on the deck. Enjoy the Upskilling series. Namaste.
Thank you very much, Kipika. As always, we live along with your vision and you inspire each one of us. Your leadership lights the path, and we are very proud and we are grateful that we are ready for what's coming next. And thank you, and once again, congratulations to all the artist ambassadors. Thank you for introducing us to them, Gitika. And now, ladies and gentlemen, I would not hold you any more from now because, yes, the moment has arrived wherein I would take this opportunity to introduce you to our expert speaker. In a world where often it is subjective, timelines are tight, expectations are sky high, knowing how to negotiate isn't just a professional skill, it's a survival tool. But negotiation isn't about confrontation, it's about communication, it's about confidence, and it's about standing your ground without burning the bridges. Today, we are joined by a brilliant mind, and he is the expert top B2B sales and negotiation trainer. With over 25 years of experience across 12 countries, more than 2,500 sessions under his belt, he's not just a trainer, he's a global influencer in the field of sales and negotiation. He's the author of the best selling book, Impossible Sales, and a TEDx speaker, having delivered not one but two powerful talks. He's a sustainable sales speaker at the SME World Summit, has received the prestigious Global Training and Development Leadership Award, as well as the Master Trainer for Pride of India Negotiation Skills Award. Known as the Smiling Buddha of Sales and Mr. Sales for his profound vision. He is legendary for engaging real world insight that inspires action. Ladies and gentlemen, with all warm heart, can I please ask you all to join hands and welcome Mr. Mihir Koltalkar, a top B2B sales and negotiation trainer. Warm welcome to you, sir.
Thank you very much, Jyoti, for that wonderful introduction. And I'm extremely happy and delighted to be over here, adding value to the artists. I think this is phenomenal. In my profession, 25 years that I've been conducting these kind of sessions, I've realized that 99% of the professionals, they have not undergone any structured training on sales or negotiation, and that hampers their value. In if this kind of skills are taught in schools or in colleges or maybe in management programs or in life, that can escalate your value to a tremendous potential. So I believe that Eema is on the right track. It is not just about your art, it is not just about your talent, but how do you project your talent and how do you get the best out for your talent. So that's the reason why we are having this particular session. And today's session is going to be a mini masterclass. So when I say mini masterclass, this is going to be about negotiation in a very different kind of way. So the art of negotiation. Negotiation, the word, the origin of the word was not leisure. Negotiation is not leisure, which means it is business. So how do you transact? How do you make that business happen? And that is what negotiation is. And today I'm going to share some tips for you to win big. So obviously, right now, if you are an artist and if you are performing, that particular point of time, you are getting something out. Most of us, negotiation means money, but negotiation is not just about money. Okay, I'm sure other experts are also here who would be sharing interesting insights about negotiation. And I agree with that. Negotiation is not just about money. In India, we usually say that negotiation is about money, but it is not. And I'm going to prove that to you. So I'm going to share one interesting photograph with you. Most of you would not know who this person is. He is Theodore Roosevelt or Teddy Roosevelt. He's a former US president. Now I'm going to share a scenario which goes way back to 1912. So today we are in 2025. I'm going to take you back to 1912. Okay, just think and picture this kind of world of 1912. So in 1912, Theodore Roosevelt, he was a former US president and he is planning a political comeback. So he wants to be re-elected as a president. His campaign manager had printed 3 million promotional leaflets featuring the photograph on the cover. So it's the same photograph that you saw right now. And a disastrous error was discovered. The photographer's permission to use the photograph of Roosevelt was not taken. Under the US copyright law, the photographer could demand up to $1 per print image. Now think about it. 3 million leaflets printed, $1 per image, that's $3 million under the US copyright law that he can demand. That will potentially bankrupt the campaign. I want you to think $3 million today is a lot of money. So $3 million in 1912. Can you imagine? Like all this, your entire 7 generations could just sit, eat, and live a lavish life, right? So that would disrupt or that would bankrupt the campaign. Now, reprinting the leaflets would be obviously a cheaper option, but the delays could be fatal because that time there was no Xerox machine per se. So they had a very different kind of technology for getting these printouts made. Now, if you are the campaign manager, think what is it at stake. At one side, you cannot afford to pay 3 million. On the other side, you cannot have the leaflets reprinted. And if you don't solve this particular problem, your career is at stake. Because if Roosevelt does not get elected, your name is going to go down, your career is going to go down, it is finished. In this particular situation, so here is a photograph which I'm again going to show you. And over here it is mentioned the copyright 1910 by Moffat Studios. So it was the same photograph that got printed on those leaflets. You cannot change the leaflets, you cannot get it reprinted, and you cannot afford to pay 3 million. And there was a negotiation that was supposed to happen. If you were in this particular position, what is the maximum that you are ready to pay for a quick solution? I just want you to think about it. And this is a real life situation. This happened. And there was an amount that was involved. Now, I know some of you might be thinking that I could probably pay 10,000 or 1 million or something of that sort. Or some of you could even say that I will get him elected. I will get him like an official photographer position or something of that. But over here in real life, there was an amount that was involved. Can you guess what the amount was? Even if you say zero, that is wrong. The correct amount was minus $250. That means the photographer paid $250 to the campaign manager. Isn't that a brilliant kind of negotiation? You must be wondering how. Well, the campaign manager just positioned the words correctly. The campaign manager said, we have an opportunity for your work to be visible to 3 million people. For this advertisement opportunity, how much would you be willing to pay? And the photographer said, I can afford only $250. The deal was closed. this signifies couple of things. So I'm not going to get into the uh, part where was it ethical or not. Ethics kept aside, all I'm going to say is that this is a real life case study in which the photographer did not have enough knowledge about the situation. If the photographer had the knowledge of the situation, the photographer could probably ask for more and settle for a higher amount instead of he paying something out of his pocket. So the first and the foremost thing is invest time in research. If you're not investing time in research, you're missing out probably on a lot. I'll tell you about one interesting example about. So I am also an artist per se. When I say I'm an artist, there are organizations who call me to deliver sessions on sales and negotiation, or there are event companies when there are annual sales conferences being held, and I go over there on stage and I speak, and obviously I charge my fees, right? So per se, we are also. I am also an artist, though as not as talented as you. But I will tell you about 9 years ago when I started off on my own. Uh, I was in Dubai for all 8 years, and then I came to India to set up my own company. I had no clue of how the business is to be done then. Okay, even though I was a trainer. So I said, how do I gauge what is the market offering right now? I did not have any clue. So I said, how do I position myself? How do I put forward a price tag to it? I don't know. So what I did was I spoke to a couple of my friends who were in the HR function of organizations. I said, you call up the training companies and you ask quotations from them for this particular workshop. Once those quotations were compiled, I had a fair idea of what is there in the market, what is happening, what is the kind of price, what are their best selling things, what are their strengths, and then I was able to craft something of my own. Today, when I go ahead, and even though this is a negotiation workshop, right? When I go ahead and I talk about my proposal, or if I give my proposal, there is no negotiation on the price part of it. Even yesterday, there was someone, a client of mine, and this client said that, Mir, so this is the first time inquiry that came in. And I quoted my fee. And they said that, is there a scope of negotiation? I said, yes, there is a scope of negotiation. The price won't go down, but we can negotiate an upward price. Okay. But that is at a stage, after investing so much of time in my career, that is the stage where I have probably reached. Do negotiations happen? Yes. Do negotiations do happen in my career? Yes. With my clients? Yes. But then there are ifs and thens, and if this, then this, and we'll get to it. But the first is invest time in research. Here is a second example that I would want you to think about. Let's say if you have a Toyota, any model, right? Consider that you purchased this brand new Toyota for 32 lakhs. You have used your car for 5 years. Now 95,000 kilometers is the mileage, and you want to sell it. Okay. You do your research and you try to see what is there available in the market. So you see that there are two similar age models cars, same Toyota, same brand, same color, same condition. On a local website, their advertised price is 20 lakhs. But the mileage on them is only 50,000. Now your car is obviously driven more, so 95,000, right? You have been to a dealer also. So you went to a couple of dealers and you asked them saying, if I want to sell my car to you, how much would I get? Dealer said maximum is 12 lakhs. Okay. So 12 lakhs is too less for you. Now you think that you should list it on the same local website. How much would you list your car for? Think about it. Think. Would you sell it for 32 lakhs? The answer is no, because that's not a brand new car. So should you sell it for 20 lakhs? Because 20 lakhs is the cars which are already there in the market. At 20 lakhs, that's not a good price point for you. The reason for that is these two cars have lesser mileage. So it has to be obviously lesser than 20 lakhs. Can it be 10 lakhs? No, because the dealer is already offering you 12 lakhs. So it has to be more than 12, but lesser than 20. And it has to be substantial. Now, how much should the price point be? That you have to decide. Decide not just on the logic part of it, but also your situation. How much need do you have right now? Are you ready to wait? Or do you want to sell it immediately? Because if you want to sell it immediately and you get one particular inquiry and they say that we are ready to pay you 15 lakhs, you should go for it. Why? Because if you don't go for it, your other option is getting only 12 lakhs. Okay? So think about it and set the right kind of objectives in your negotiation. These are real life examples which are there, and obviously we can make it relevant for ourselves as well. So one is you research, and the second is you set the right kind of objectives. The third is very interesting. What is more important, the price or the terms and conditions? Think again. Price or terms and conditions? If you have said price, think again. Let's assume that I'm an artist and my client says that, okay, I'm willing to pay you whatever, 500,000. Okay. I asked for 500,000 and the client is ready to pay 500,000. I should be very happy with it. But if the client says that we will pay you 500,000 in 10 years time, step by step. Well, I don't agree to that. Now, this is where the terms and conditions come in place. It is not just about the price part of it. This is just a crude example, but think about what are these terms and conditions. We call them variables in negotiation. So it is not just about the price. It is not just about your talent fee. It is about something else also. What are those things? I'm going to share some slides with you just for you to have a look at it and understand what other things can come into play. So what can you ask for apart from your talent fee? Okay. So here is it. So from the financial part of it, performance fee, advance payment fee, payment terms, travel coverage, meal allowance, cancellation fee, there are so many things which come in. Then shift from the financial to the performance part of it. Your order in the lineup, your duration of the performance, now your availability for sound check or rehearsals, green room quality, okay, stage dimensions, layout, all of that can come in. That's not all. Look at something else also. Marketing and visibility. So how is your name or your logo placed in the promotions? Okay. Your access to maybe the event photography and the video. The number of tagged posts from the organizers. Meet and greet for the fan. Okay. Let's go with the rights and the legal part of it. So copyright and ownership. Rescheduling, flexibility clause, insurance coverage for the equipment. There can be n number of things. Check some more. Convenience, comfort part. So your local assistants, that would be a tour manager, maybe a backstage access for your friends and family, the number of passes that is, airport pickup drop, or early check-in, late check-out from the hotel. From the relationship part, maybe it could be referrals, maybe it could be repeat bookings, maybe it could be testimonials, maybe it could be event feedback or the audience data. There are so many things that will come into play. This is what you can ask for. But why would someone give you more than your fee? Right. When in our early stages, we might have heard give respect, get respect. The same thing applies for us also. If you want to get something, you will have to give something. So what are the variables that you can give? Okay. So I'm going to list down some of that. Now, these are the things that you can give. For performance-based ads, you can have maybe an audience interaction or a special custom performance considering the theme. If it's, let's say, marketing or promotional, you can have exclusive behind-the-scenes content or co-branded reels or posts. For reputation enhancement, it could be maybe endorsement or testimonials that you can give, or maybe your friend is a celebrity or an influencer and you get that person over there as a guest appearance. It could be flexibility of payment terms, or it could be self-arranged travel and accommodation, or rights and collaboration part of it. So licensing music or art for brand use, joint creation of promo content, or relationship sweeteners, a customized thank you notes for all your sponsors. So there are so many things which happen in, and that is called variable strategy. Instead of just talking about the price part of it, look at other aspects also. But if you are starting off on your own and you are very new in this particular industry, then you may not be in a position to ask for all of these things. First, you will have to give something extra, and then try to get something extra. This is where the balance of power lies. I'll give you one interesting scenario. So I have conducted sessions in 12 countries now, 13th country right now. Uh, I remember a time wherein I wanted to conduct a session in Sri Lanka. I had never conducted a session in Sri Lanka, and that was in my mind saying that I should get a session in Sri Lanka. I asked, and the universe responded. I got a call from Sri Lanka saying, Mihir, we visited your website and we want to arrange a session for our team. I said, wow, thank you, universe, first of all. Right. And then we had a discussion, second round of discussion. Then they asked me to send a proposal. I sent a proposal. They said that please state your commercials also. I said, sure, I will do that. In the proposal, I sent everything, but the commercials part of it or the fee part of it, I left it blank intentionally. They received the proposal. They called me. They said, Mihir, we have received the proposal. Everything looks wonderful. But what about your fee? I said, I have deliberately left it blank. I want you to fill the amount. And they said, how can that happen? You have to tell us. I said, no. I explained the entire situation to them. I said, money is not my primary purpose right now. My primary purpose is I want to get a session in Sri Lanka. And that is happening. We discussed for 3 days. I would not give the amount. I said, you put in even 1 rupee and I would be very happy to take it. They eventually spoke to other people and they said, Mihir, we are going to make sure that you have more sessions in Sri Lanka. I had 4 sessions during that time. I earned more than what I had imagined for that visit. This is where the priority comes in. What are you looking out for? So all those variables which are there, what out of that are you looking out for? And what are you ready to give for that? Here is a QR code in case if you want to download an extensive list of all of those variables that you can ask for and then you can give. Please scan that. Okay. That will take you to that particular resource and you will have all the variables listed down over there for your upcoming negotiations. Okay. In case if you're not able to do that, any challenges, I'm there on social media. You can just search for my name. You can reach out to me. I will share the PDF version of that as well. Okay. So that is the 3 tips for negotiation. Do you have any questions for me? I'm open to questions right now.
While we have a few questions from the audience, Mihir, firstly, thank you very much for addressing all of us with the 2 live, real life examples that you've given us. And out of the entire thing, I think one line really caught me and it was like, yes, we can negotiate, but the price will definitely go up. What confidence. I mean, truly, it really shows us that, money is not everything, but all the variables and the slides that you've shown us, I took the screenshots. I'm sure many of us did too. So having access to that, there's a lot broader view to think about in terms of negotiation. Apart from money, like we used to say, pehle zamane mein barter system used to be there, right? Similar thing, that your talent may not be just numbers, more than that it is. So until we have a few questions, I have one question I wanted to ask you, and then there are line up a few questions as well. See, talking in per se as per artist, okay, because many artists who want to raise the bar of their fee structure or who would like to go to the next step, how handling such situation, like how do we handle situation where clients wants more for less? So creatively, tactfully handling that, if you could throw some light on that, please, before I take the
Sure.
next question.
Sure. I think this is first of all a human tendency that we want more for less. And that's a human tendency. Tackle it is also something which is human tendency then. Okay. But instead of being defensive, if you can add more value to it, then you are able to justify your price point or your talent fee. Okay. Today, I remember that there are some people who would say that Mihir, we will give you 10 sessions. Okay. And obviously then you'll have to reduce the fee. I say, you know what? Instead of reducing the fee, I will give you something else which can create more profits for you. And that's how I tend to kind of negotiate. So I always believe that you try to be creative, give out more value, give out something else, something else, something else. And the more value that you project, then the price seems less. And then they would agree to it.
Perfect. Perfect. We have a question from the audience. Many artists struggle to ask for the rightful fee. What mindset shift do we need to make? One question, yes, please.
I think this is a very important question. Uh, Remember the story which I gave you, that when I came in over here and when I started on the business, I did research and everything. And initially, I was not too confident about my price point as well. Okay. Today, if you ask me, I think my price point has increased to maybe, I don't know, at least 20-25 times. Okay. And every single year, I go on and I keep on increasing my price point. So what I do is, first is the mindset that if I'm able to generate that kind of value, if they are able to get out more from me, then my price point should be justified. And that has to do with your mindset, saying that yes, I am capable of delivering value, and that's what I deserve. If your mindset is not there, then your confidence is shaken. If your confidence is shaken when you are speaking to your clients, that shaken confidence will make them get your prices down. Have a rock solid mindset saying this is what it is, take it or leave it, and that should be your approach. When you say take it or leave it, you don't obviously you don't say that take it or leave it, but that should be your approach, saying that this is what it is, I am not going to go below this. Okay. And you should be justified in saying that, but you also put forward more value, have a nice art of communication and say it in a nice way, put more value and get them on, to your side.
Perfect, perfect. Thank you very much. And there are a few questions that Gitika has also posted that people are asking her the questions. And I have someone from the chat box, Sahitya, is asking, how do we say no or refuse someone without ruining the relationship? Very important. Yes, please. So,
Right. So, no, people say that there is a white and there is a black. I say that there is a gray also. So sometimes you don't do things in black and white, sometimes you do things in gray. You want to refuse them in a nice way. Uh, Now, you could probably say that I do already have an event on that particular day, or something of that sort, or I'm not there. It can be a lie. Uh, that's a gray area. That's one polite way wherein you don't burn the bridges. That is one part. The second is that practice a bit of assertiveness. Why are you saying no? Is it because of the price point, or is it something that the leverage that you're not getting in? What is it that it is? And if you can assertively put that on table and see if that can be negotiated. I believe that everything in the world is negotiable. Everything is negotiable, except for the ethics part of it, but everything else is negotiable, right?
rightly put forward. I have the next question from Arpita Chaudhary, who's asking, what are the non-verbal signs to watch out for during a high-stake negotiation?
Absolutely. I think that is a brilliant question. And considering non-verbal aspects of negotiation, that contributes to 60% of any communication that is happening face to face. We spend we think that words are more powerful, but words are not as powerful as your body language. Studying body language is a very vast, it's a vast domain, vast topic. But study body language. One, if I say that you have to just watch out for this or watch out for that, that does not work. But I'll give you one tip right now. If in a communication someone is touching their eye, okay, or if they're having a specs and they're touching their specs, considering it is not dusty or whatever, uh, if that is the case, that person does not see the image that you are portraying, that they don't see this happening. So if you're saying that we can probably do like this, we can do like this, we can do like this, something of that sort, and the other person is doing this for a split second, it means that the person does not see this happening. And the reason for that is on the subconscious level. when so when we sleep, our eyes are closed and we move away from the conscious world to the subconscious world. Your dreams are given by your subconscious. So you're escaping the reality and you're going to a new dimension. If you would have seen, even in movies, if an unfortunate news comes up and there are people who say, Nahi, main nahi. So they close their eyes. And in a communication, while touching the eye, they're also communicating that in a softer way. So this is a trick to know that whatever I'm communicating, that person is not thinking about that as in that picture. So my idea will not be accepted.
All
What
right.
about
So, yes, some lights on the body language as well, which, yes, are the non-verbal signs that defines whether you're interested in the conversation or whether you're interested in the negotiation and taking the no silently. And thank you very much, Mihir. It was such an insightful brainstorming session with you. I'm sure there will be many questions which will come in some time too. So probably if we have time during the end of the session, then I will definitely take it further from here with you as well. But for now, let's, ladies and gentlemen, put our hands together and thank Mihir Koltarkarji for joining us for this fantastic masterclass session. Thank you very much, Mihir. We'll look forward to again catch hold of you very, very soon. All right, ladies and gentlemen, what a lovely time we had with Mihir. He brought in the real essence of telling us that it's not just about monetary negotiation. There are too many parameters, too many things to think about. What you can ask, as well as first remember what you can bring on the table. Continuing to this segment of masterclass, ladies and gentlemen, we have a fantastic panel discussion coming up. And now the conversation is just a step further. Negotiation isn't just about closing deals, it's about the relationships and the values, creating it together, upskilling it together as you're an artist, along with the event management team or along with the community. It's all about growing together. Now, let me take this opportunity to introduce you to our first panelist to guide us deeper into the business side of creativity. It's my pleasure to welcome the name that has become synonymous with strategic thinking and experiential excellence, a pioneering force in the world of brand experiences and business innovation. Having led high stakes conversations, built powerful partnership, and negotiated deals across entertainment, brand, and experiential space. His insights are rooted in the real world success and industry depth. I am talking about the gentleman who's done it right, who can unlock not just better business, but better relationships, better positioning, and long term growth. Please put our hands together and invite on stage founder and CEO of ESP 360 Degree, Mr. Karan Shetty on screen. A very warm welcome to you, sir.
Thank you so much for a
Yes.
long introduction. Thank you for
Well,
that.
that is just a short one, sir, considering the time limit we have today. And I would also like to call on screen the second panelist and then the moderator, and she would take it further from here. Very warm welcome, Karan, sir. And ladies and gentlemen, the second panelist who's joining us to bring the real world perspective to this important conversation. We've joined by one of the most respected names in the Indian musical and entertainment industry. Tarsim Mittal is an Indian musical entrepreneur with over 2 decades of experience, a strategic partnership with Universal Music Group in 2022. He's also the host of the music podcast where he led thoughtful conversation exploring the people, ideas, and dynamics. While no longer engaged in business operations, their same stays connected to the music community. And ladies and gentlemen, to continue this broader conversation, can I introduce Mr. Tarsim Mittal, the founder of TM. Please join us on stage, sir.
Thank you, Jyoti.
Let
Thank you.
everyone see you. Yes, we've been waiting to see who is Mr. Tarsim Mittal. We've been playing some tongue twisters around your names, but I thank that you corrected me. You corrected me to spell your name correctly. He's a gentleman who's the founder of Talent Management. And now, sir, as you are here, I would like to call the moderator who will moderate this session for all of us. To lead the panel discussion, we have a dynamic personality who joins the spotlight and how to direct meaningful conversation under it. She knows it very well. An accomplished actor, a seasoned anchor, and a compelling voice which brings both charisma and clarity to every stage she steps onto. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in inviting anchor actor Miss Pavleen Gujral. Pavleen, warm welcome to you. And now I'll be handing it over, Pavleen. The gentlemen are there with us. The topic is all yours. Please fire some questions. Let's have a great moderating now.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Jyoti, for the lovely introduction. I mean, it made more sense to introduce these two lovely gentlemen. Mine was a little over the top, but sometimes over the top works. Thank you so much. It made me feel great. So, welcome Tarseem and Karan to this very important first ever upskilling workshop for all of our artist community here at Eema. Because this is essentially for the artist community. My first question, or so to speak, my first clarity is that as an MC myself, as an artist myself, we are in need of constant, so to speak, validation on stage by our clients, by the agency. So if you could put it into few words, considering the plethora of experience that both of you have, how important is an artist, an MC, a singer, a band to the success of an event? And because there is always a gray area there. Sometimes I think it's not so important that you say a few words on stage. But can you please break that myth?
I think I'll
Karan?
take that one. Yeah.
Yes.
I think in every bit of show what we have done in past and what we're doing in future to all the experiential market, I think the master of ceremony is every artist who come on stage are the most important part of any show. And I think they're the one who's taking the whole show on their shoulders. And I think a big salute to all of them, because without them, our shows will be very flat and it will not have any impact. So therefore, yes, thank you so much to the whole community. And of course, a lot of people who are working behind them also. So yeah, thank you so much. But yes, they play a very, very important role when it comes to success of any event.
Thank you so much, Karan. That's lovely to hear. Tarseem, if you could also shed some light, being a talent manager, the voice of all of us artists. If you could, of course, you are the voice, so you have to be important. But if you could also put it in your own words, how important it is.
See, I think they are very, very important. I mean, it's not even a question from me. I mean, they are important. It's like how actors are important for a movie. A moderator is important for this session. You know, they are important. They are the face of any piece of content. So they are extremely important. But the success or the failure of the entire event depends on hundreds of things, like in a film. So you cannot take them out of the equation. They are extremely, extremely important in one line to say.
Okay, thank you so much. So when we're talking about the art of negotiation, the one thing that one word we hear a lot as artists is that we don't have the margin, we don't have the budget. So this word margins, if you would give us such a little bit of clarity on, is there really a margin ascertained for an artist for each event, or for artists for a particular event? And do you abide by that margin? Now, I know Karan feels differently about it, considering the previous conversation that we had. But if you can shed light on what the number maybe you put an artist and what the client would want, I'm sure there's a margin there. But do you also exercise that margin, Tarseem and Karan?
Karan, you want to take it first?
You take it first. I'll follow.
Yes, we can alternate.
Yeah. Actually, I have never heard this line. I mean, even if I've heard it, I've ignored this line. So it doesn't matter to me. मैं जब काम कर रहा था and I was representing my artists, I had a very simple thing. If you remember me, he had mentioned that 99% of the people are not trained formally in negotiation. I'm one of them. ठीक है, हम लोग trained नहीं है. जो रियल लाइफ इंसिडेंसेस में जो एक्सपीरियंसेस हुए उनको यूज करके पीसी. तो मुझे ऐसा लगता था कि बिफोर नेगोशिएशन प्रोडक्ट या सर्विस अच्छा होना चाहिए. नेगोशिएशन तो हम बाद में करेंगे कि मेरा प्रोडक्ट या सर्विस जो है उसमें दम है कि नहीं. सो इफ आई एम एन एमसी और अ सिंगर और अ डांसर और अ कोरियोग्राफर और हुएवर आई एम एज एन आर्टिस्ट, तो मेरे प्रोडक्ट में कितना दम है, कितना पावर है, हाउ आई एम और माई प्रोडक्ट इज बेटर देन दी अदर पर्सन. दैट इज द फर्स्ट एंड मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट थिंग विच आई वुड फोकस ऑन. सेकेंड थिंग इज द रिसर्च अबाउट द मार्केट, कि मेरा जो काम है या मैं जो सेल करने की कोशिश कर रहा हूँ, वो उसके क्या क्या ऑप्शंस अवेलेबल है और उन ऑप्शंस में अच्छा क्या है, मेरे से अच्छा क्या है, मेरे से बुरा क्या है, हाउ शुड आई बी एबल टू प्लेस इट राइट. तीसरा है माइंडसेट, बिकॉज आर्टिस्ट इज नॉट अ वेरी फिक्स्ड फॉर्मूला. एक ऐसा आर्टिस्ट होता है जो हर रोज एक काम करना चाहता है. एक ऐसा आर्टिस्ट है जो चाहता है कि मैं महीने में एक ही दिन काम करूं. एक आर्टिस्ट है जो चाहता है कि मैं शादियों के इवेंट्स भी करूं, मैं कॉर्पोरेट भी करूं, मैं गवर्नमेंट इवेंट्स भी करूं. एक आर्टिस्ट है जो चाहता है कि नहीं, मैं सिर्फ और सिर्फ कॉन्सर्ट्स करना चाहता हूं. इट प्योरली डिपेंड्स ऑन अ मल्टीपल रीजन. सो देयर इज नो वन फॉर्मूला फिट ऑल. ये सारा करने के बाद अगर रिसर्च हो, आर्टिस्ट का माइंडसेट हमको पता हो, हमारे प्रोडक्ट में दम हो, अ, उसके बाद हम जाके नेगोशिएशन पे आते हैं। और मेरा ये मानना है पर्सनली, एंड आई हैव टोल्ड दिस टू सेवरल पीपल इन द पास्ट, कि ज्यादा पैसे मिलना आपका हक नहीं है। अगर आप पहले इस माइंडसेट से जाते हो कि यार मैं एक एंकर हूं या मैं एक सिंगर हूं, उस सेम क्लाइंट ने उस सिंगर को और उस एंकर को इतने रुपए दिए थे, तो मुझे भी मिलना चाहिए, ये आपका हक नहीं है। ठीक है। तो आपको ये देखना है कि आप बेच क्या रहे हो। हम यहाँ पे बेचने की बात करें बिकॉज खरीदने के टाइम पे नेगोशिएशन होती है, बट लेट्स फोकस हम खाली बेचने की सेल्स के टाइम पे। तो अगर हम नेगोशिएशन कर रहे हैं और हमको ये पता है कि हमारा जो प्रोडक्ट है वो उस इंसान के लिए इतना वर्थ है, तो हमको उनको एस्पायर करने की स्किल होनी चाहिए। अब आप एस्पायर किसी भी तरीके से कर सकते हो, और दूसरी बात कि पूरी दुनिया डिमांड और सप्लाई पे चलती है। आज भी हमारी पूरी दुनिया, चाहे ऑयल हो चाहे बिजनेसेस हो, स्टॉक मार्केट पे चलते हैं। स्टॉक मार्केट इसलिए नहीं चलती कि कोई प्रोडक्ट अच्छा है। कोई प्रोडक्ट बहुत अच्छा नहीं भी हो सकता है, लेकिन उसकी वैल्यू ज्यादा हो सकती है। तो आपकी डिमांड और सप्लाई, क्या आपको बहुत जरूरत है वो काम मिलने की, या सामने वाले को आपकी जरूरत है? ये सारी चीजें देखने के बाद आप एस्पायर करते हो और आप नेगोशिएट करते हो सकता है कि दो आर्टिस्ट दोनों सेम कैटेगरी में हैं, दोनों सेम कंटेंट या सर्विसेज डिलीवर करते हैं, लेकिन उन दोनों के लिए अप्रोच या प्राइस या टर्म्स बिल्कुल अलग अलग हो सकता है, प्रोवाइडेड उनको कितना काम की जरूरत है, वो लोग इनिशियल स्टेज पे हैं, एडवांस स्टेज पे हैं। और बेच तो देते हैं, नेगोशिएशन तो हो गई, हमने रिसर्च कर लिया, हमने सेल भी कर दिया, बट अल्टीमेटली जो भी चीज आप सेल कर रहे हो, क्या आप कॉन्फिडेंट हो कि जितने भी रुपए में आपने सेल की है उससे ज्यादा आप डिलीवर कर पाओगे? दैट इज एक्सट्रीमली क्रिटिकल एंड इम्पॉर्टेंट फॉर मी व्हेन आई ट्राई टू सेल। क्योंकि एक बार तो आप सेल कर लोगे, आपने नेगोशिएट कर लिया, लेकिन अगर आपने डिलीवर नहीं किया उस प्रोडक्ट को या उस कमिटमेंट को, तो अल्टीमेटली दैट बिजनेस एंड दैट थिंग इज गॉन फ्रॉम यू। So I think these are the things which I generally keep in mind, and I think it worked in most of the cases.
Okay, understood. Understood. I think that you're right, Tarsim, when you say ki, getting an event is not so is of course very important, but that's just the beginning of the job. How you are on stage as an artist is what will define how much you charge the next time. So I agree with you that you should live up to whatever you're charging. Karan, your thoughts on the same about the margin bit that Tarsim says he's never heard it before, but are you in this also the same position? Maybe another Parayavati word you heard of it.
I'll add few aspects to what Tarseem said. I think जो कह रहे थे कि there are people who will say कि मैं हर एक शो उठाना चाहता हूँ और एक वो जो साल में एक बार या महीने में एक बार करे. I think that is where I'm coming from. It's value versus volume. So there's a value-driven proposition and there's a volume-driven proposition. So I will first say that first ask yourself and understand who you are. See, what happens is when you become an artist now, and there are various types of artists, some are established, some are not established. I'm not referring to a particular thing. I'm just saying that first of all, as a experiential marketer, when we are out there to choose anybody, it could be a small artist or big artist, we need to first understand with what reputation or with what attitude the person is coming to. आपका अगर एटीट्यूड ही नेगेटिव है और someone is XYZ with you and nobody wants to engage, so therefore the communication with which you come on board is the first thing which should add positivity to you. So I think a lot of people don't act. Of course, what Mihir was saying, that there have to be a little bit of research and homework. Of course, if we are engaging anybody, and these are, again, I don't like that word negotiation, but I think this is where we're trying to understand our partners or artists who are going on stage. So if we want to engage XYZ, the person should understand relevant questions to ask us. The person should understand what is the kind of objective you're leading to the event. Person should, it's not acha haan kitne mein show ho raha. I mean, that is not what people in today's world, at least not my agency, we look after. We don't want to deal with people XYZ. We want to deal with people who can actually add value. While we say that to our clients, we want to work with people who can add more value, and exactly what Tarsim is saying. So I feel that these are the aspect of first understanding who you are, When I say who you are, I mean who you are, where you stand today. Are you established or not established? And therefore, it'll give you those grounds. And therefore, doing your homework to understand that what I can add value while we are starting the conversation with XYZ agency, right? So if you're not doing that, of course, the person will think that he's useless or she's useless, right? And with attitude, when you come, your communication skill, the kind of attitude you're driving towards the agency when you're talking to her, there has to be some kind of relevance in the communication we are doing, right? And then when you come back, right? For example, when we speak to XYZ person, are you defining your environment or your ecosystem in a way that a person who you're talking to is not sold on, but he's impressed? Like, for example, do you have the right tools? Do you have a video to show? Do you have a XYZ thing? So a lot of times what happens, people do not have XYZ to even talk about. So there are various different kinds of events. One is luxury event, one is driven by very mass, which could be a concert, one is driven by, do you have the right tools to make me, I've not worked with you. And this is for all the people who are newcomers or probably who've done few events and not worked on a mega scale kind of thing. Do you have the right tools to show? I think that is another aspect of looking at it. So therefore, I feel that once you have established all this ecosystem around you, you have a strong hold in getting that particular show. So I feel that money comes later, right? When you're defining all these things, you've already had that. You pushed yourself into a space where person is more comfortable. They are more they find you more prompt in your communication. They feel that you have the right talent to do this, and then they will say, okay, this. So therefore, it adds to your value. And that is, if that is called negotiation, then I would say yes, that is the negotiation part, which I think I would like people to do more often, because this adds, for agency like us, that they are very professional and they mean business. And I know when they come on stage, they will add value. And it's always about value. And that is where you always, once you are on stage, as what Sarsam said, you have to take it forward in the way that you should be. And of course, if you are prepared, you've planned well, there is no way you will not be able to do it unless you are, not even meant to be. But as long as you are meant to be and you've done it and you've prepared, you will definitely do that. And that will add more value. So the next time when we come back to you, or XYZ agency comes back to you, they will always value you in a different pedestal, right?
Hi.
Right. So that is a great way of putting yourself in a better situation to ask more or get what you want.
Okay, I think that's fantastic. You're right when you say that you need the right content to negotiate with, rather than just putting a higher number. Tarsain, the next question is specifically for you. Like you said that if you perform well, that the next time you ask for more, which is exactly what Karan said. Can you put a number on it? Because I in my experience also have realized that nobody really knows a particular number on it. Even if an event goes really, really well for an artist, you want to ask more the next time. But how much more is justified more? So, as a talent manager, what do you predict? Is it obviously different for every kind of art form, or also depends on how well the event went? Of course, it depends on that. But if you could put a number on it for us.
I actually wish कि मेरे पास इसका आंसर होता. इसका आंसर नहीं है. It's very dynamic. It's like कि टेमीफ्लू मेडिसिन कोविड के टाइम पे कितना प्राइस था और कोविड के बाद उसका कितना प्राइस है. आप किस माहौल में हो, किसको आपकी कितनी जरूरत है, आपको उस काम की कितनी जरूरत है, ये सारे फैक्टर्स पे डिपेंड करता है. एंड एज आई टोल्ड यू अर्लियर आल्सो, इट्स डिमांड एंड सप्लाई. Like I'll tell you a ruthless thing. I must have communicated with more than 5,000 clients in my life over 20 years. और कुछ 1 लाख कॉल्स तो किए होंगे. ठीक है. हमेशा मुझे लगता था कि क्लाइंट को सिर्फ 3 ही चीजों से मतलब है कि कौन हो तुम, यू नो, खुद हेल आर यू, सॉरी फॉर माई लैंग्वेज, बट कौन हो भाई, जो भी हो आप, जो भी आप करते हो वो करते कैसा हो, कैन आई सी इट. ओके. अगर ये पहले दोनों स्टेजेस में मेरा इंटरेस्ट है, अब जाके नेगोशिएशन की बात आती है. तो 80 to 90% केसेस में आर्टिस्ट के पास ये पहले 2 सवाल का आंसर ही नहीं होता है कि आपकी credibility क्या है? Explain it to me in few lines. Okay. Today we have chat GPT, you can make flashy presentations and do all these things. But उससे किसी को फर्क नहीं पड़ता है. Because ultimately जो event manager या wedding planner है बीच में, he is also representing a client. Okay. His only thing is he will compromise with you also. He will pay you more. He will give you facilities like hotels, cars, this and that, provided he feels that you are worth for it. Okay. And that purely depends on how you have delivered. And I remember 20 years back, there was a management guru who explained me when I was running a coaching institute, simple formula that the service business is inquiry, conversion, retention. 33% important is that people inquire about you. 33% important is you are able to convert that business to your favor. And 33% important is that the business is retained or the same person pays you more for the next job. So that the first 33% comes from awareness. People have to know you. You have to market. You have to meet people. And the biggest reason of that is word of mouth always. It was, is, and will always remain a word of mouth when people have worked with you and they talk good about you, about the experience, about on-stage experience, off-stage experience, experience dealing with money, contracts, and all those things. The next is conversion, which is the art of negotiation, which we are discussing right now. In that also, they said that 70% time should go in knowing the other person. So when you're talking to a client, there is a client from Bihar who does only government events. He's different. There is a client in Bangalore who only do IT corporate events. He's different. There is a lady who does a lot of wedding events. She's different. So when you're talking to different people, they are different human beings. So the maximum time in the initial stages should be spent on knowing that person. Today, this is easier. We can do research about that person. What is the age of that person? How he thinks? How he behaves? Then you have to be able to aspire the other person for what you are trying to sell. Okay. How do you do that? Again, there is no fixed formula for that. It will depend on person to person, artist to artist very differently. Only if that person has shown interest and he's aspired, then only you should talk about money and services or anything else. But if we are constantly thinking about how to raise our rates, how to raise our money, the truth is there is no answer, there is no solution of that. For me, as an artist manager, I have represented a tons of artists, and I also my success rate is only 20%. I failed in 80% of the cases. Okay, if I've managed 60 artists, only 12 succeeded. I can tell you a lump sum things which worked and which didn't work. The focus on selling has never worked for me for any artist. It has only worked when there is a consolidated approach. When the artist is sure that trying to sell and marketing will not lead me to a permanent structure or a permanent approach. That will only happen when I am very confident about my product or service. I keep myself constantly updated. I value the other person's time. Whenever I'm getting a job, whether I'm getting at a negotiated or a discounted price also, or a free service also, my job is my job. I will go and make sure that people are happier and I'm doing the job better than anybody else. That's the only way it has worked or it works. And in terms of pricing, and I'll repeat it again, we have done like somebody charged 1 lakh rupees 3 months back. We have been able to get 10 lakh rupees for the same act in 3 months. Sometimes somebody who was getting 10 lakh rupees 3 months back, we were not able to get even 5 lakh rupees for that act. We were the same guys, same company with the same resources, with the same negotiation skills, with the same skills of marketing relationship. So it doesn't work. Until and unless the product is good, no skill will work for long. You might be able to use a relationship once or use your, how do you say, your personality or the way you speak or the way you present. But ultimately, if the service is not great, if the focus is not on service, then we'll keep on going. So to answer your question in one line, the percentage of increase will purely depend on all these factors, and it can be 1000% also. And it happens every year in entertainment industry. There is one artist whose songs become hit. There is one actor whose movie becomes hit. And suddenly somebody who was getting nothing gets 1000% or 10,000% increase as well. Sorry for the long answer, but I think I'm
No,
able
no, no.
to
I think
explain.
with this clarity, because it can work both ways, like you mentioned, that you could increase, your price could increase manifold, but it could also come crashing down if you're not able to maintain that quality. Thank you so much, Tarsaim, for that. I think we all really needed to hear that. Karan, the next question is for you. Now, you as an agency are a bridge between the client and the artists. And has it ever happened that the client had their own artist from the pool of artists that you suggested for their event, and you tried very hard to convince them that, okay, this particular artist is much better than the rest, and in a wholesome fashion, but the client has chosen what they have chosen. So does the ego of the client also comes into play a lot of times, and does that compromise the choice of artists most of the times? How does that dynamic work? Because we are completely unaware of that.
Okay. I'm a big believer of whenever you're talking to a client, I'm a big believer that client is I would not say stupid, but they don't know. So you have to treat something like there are clients when they don't know, and if they are trying to say they know, then it is up to the agency how confident you are, and in not selling but convincing the fact that the artist you are trying to put in has a difference. Now, as long as, and we've done this in past till now, of my 28 years of career, I think they'll be like, I can count them in my, like, what, 4 or 5 times only max that we've had this kind of not argument but situation where clients have said, why don't you work with this artist? And I can assure you, in out of those all 5 situations, ESP has always given better talent, and they have been convinced, and after the show they've come back and hugged us and say thank you for giving us this. So it is all about with how convincing you are, and of course the conviction always comes from the fact that the relationship. So here is one more very important thing which I want to talk about. So it's not just about a person creating a legacy or this person ka hit song ho gaya and XYZ, whatever. No, it's also about a person's relationship. Now, this is where, see, not all event managers are directly contacting the artist. We'll be contacting an agency, a talent management agency, or a artist management agency. Now, these people with us, and there has to be some synergies, and with which the relationship needs to be very good, right? If you don't have good relationship with them, you know that you will not be able to get the right impact, be it in terms of experience, be in terms of getting them on board and also making them come on stage. So that is also very important part, which a lot of people try to, like, we will only work with people we know that, the experience of getting to that point of getting them on board should be easy and trustworthy. So that's another part which I should say to all the artist managers, that you should work with the right talent management, artist management company, because they will always put you into the right pedestal and you'll have a better way of negotiating. And I think being individual will not give you more wings. That's what I feel. Maybe I'm wrong, but that's what I feel. And I think I'm doing too much of sports things and all, which is very related to our thing. But I feel that more and more people should try to collaborate and create alliances with XYZ agencies, so that your circle of influence increases. And I think a lot of agency would love to do that rather than just going. So I don't think so people want to compromise or 10, 15, 20,000. That time is gone. Yeah, it's gone.
Yeah. No, I completely agree with you, Karan. This is the time for collaboration, and social media has taught us that and how. I think cooperate and collaborate is the name of and game of every industry. Thank you for that. I think we needed that info as well. In fact, that brings me to my next question, which is for both of you. Karan, if you can answer that, because you're on that wavelength right now. This is a question from one of our attendees. I'm just going to read it out. As a panelist deeply invested in talent, please share any 2 negotiation habits every artist should build starting today. So since you were talking about that, can you put it like into like a bullet point?
I just said it. I think the first point will be that you need to first understand what is it that event. first understand what you are capable of, right? And once you have defined what you're capable of, then you first understand what are the other agencies or agencies like us are working towards, and therefore try to send us your XYZ whatever communication stuff, so that we can start talking to you about your thing, because we always need new talents, we always need new people to come on board for our shows, and of course there is always hunger for new things. So if you are one of those person, then you need to do this. You need to create a nice portfolio of yours, first of all, and you should start talking to people, and yeah, I mean, and have a right attitude towards, and you should be good in communication, of course, and have the right attitudes toward people. Oh yeah, most important, your homework. You have to do your homework properly.
Absolutely. Homework goes a long way. The same question to you, please.
So I have a weird answer. तो
I knew
मेरे
that. We like your weird answers. Please go ahead.
मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि नंबर वन, फेस द रियलिटी, डोंट रन अवे फ्रॉम द रियलिटी। रियलिटी बहुत सिंपल होती है। अगर आप एंकर हो, इंडिया में 10,000 एंकर है, उसमें से सिर्फ 100 एंकर हैं जो बहुत अच्छा काम कर रहे हैं। इसका मतलब परसेंटेज कितना हुआ? 1%। अगर आपको टॉप 1% में जाना है, तो पहले अपने आप से क्लियरली ये सवाल पूछो, क्या आप टॉप 1% लायक हो या नहीं हो। अगर नहीं हो, तो उन टॉप 1% से अपने आप को कंपेयर मत करो। लेट्स फेस द रियलिटी। पहले मेहनत करो, उसके जैसा बनो। अगर आप अच्छे हो और आपका काम अच्छा है, आपको नेगोशिएशन की स्किल सीखने की जरूरत ही नहीं है, क्योंकि सेल्स मार्केटिंग के बहुत लोग हैं, एजेंसीज हैं, कंपनीज हैं जो आपके लिए काम कर सकती है, ठीक है। लेकिन एक आर्टिस्ट, क्या कौन सा काम है जो एक आर्टिस्ट से रिप्लेस नहीं कर सकता है कोई? वो है आर्ट। अगर आप सिंगर हो, तो एजेंसी गाना नहीं गा सकती, आपका मैनेजर आपके बिहाफ पे गाना नहीं गा सकता। तो अगर आपका गाना अच्छा है और आप रोज अपने आप को और अच्छा इंप्रूव कर रहे हो, तो आपको कोई ना कोई मिल जाएगा जो आपके लिए ये नेगोशिएशन और स्किल वाला काम कर लेगा। सो पहले तो फेस द ट्रुथ। आप जिसकी टारगेट कर रहे हो, आपके उसके लिए बहुत मेहनत तपस्या करनी पड़ेगी। दूसरी बात, आर्ट का फॉर्मूला अगर होता, तो दुनिया के सबसे अमीर लोग उस फॉर्मूला को खरीद लेते और कोई गरीब आदमी कभी आगे नहीं बढ़ पाता। सो आर्ट का फॉर्मूला है ही नहीं, आप ढूंढना बंद करो। आर्ट का सिंपल है कि जब हम एक कंज्यूमर की तरह से मूवी देखने जाते हैं, तो संजय लीला भंसाली या करण जौहर ने, बहुत एक्सपीरियंस लोग हैं, 200-300 करोड़ रुपए लगा के 4 साल मेहनत करके एक फिल्म बनाई। लेकिन हम जब कंज्यूमर जाते हैं 200 रुपए की टिकट लेके, हम बोलते हैं पागल हो गए लोग 5 मिनट के अंदर। दैट्स हाउ कंज्यूमर रिएक्ट्स टू एनी प्रोडक्ट, और हुएवर यू आर। इससे किसी को कोई लेना देना नहीं है कि आपने कितनी मेहनत की, आपने कितना टाइम लगाया, आपने कितना पैसा दिया, आपके घर की कंडीशन कैसी है। इससे किसी को कोई लेना देना नहीं है। क्या आपने आपके आपके एक्ट से या उससे मैं एंटरटेन हो पा रहा हूँ या नहीं हो पा रहा हूँ। और सिमिलरली एक और एग्जांपल है कि कभी कभी एक इंसान बहुत परफेक्ट होता है, वो दिखता अच्छा है, बात अच्छी करता है, आपको इज्जत देता है, फिर भी आपको उसके साथ बात करने का मन नहीं करता है। लेकिन कभी कभी एक आदमी ना अच्छे कपड़े नहीं पहनता है, बाल अच्छे से कॉम्ब नहीं करता है, शर्ट टग नहीं करता है अच्छे से, बट फिर भी उस इंसान से बात करने का मन करता है। और ये आर्ट में सबसे ज्यादा होता है कि जो अच्छी आर्ट होती है वो इम्परफेक्ट होती है। और आप ज्यादा परफेक्शन करने की कोशिश मत करो, उसके अंदर जान होना बहुत जरूरी है। और वो जान तभी आती है तब जब आप अपने आर्ट से बहुत प्यार करते हो। अगर आप एंकर हो और आप जब स्टेज पे चढ़ते हो, और स्टेज पे चढ़ने के बाद आप सब कुछ भूल के सिर्फ अपने काम पे फोकस होके उस काम को ग्रेटली डिलीवर करते हो, अगर ये आपका पैशन है, तब वो बात आपके अंदर से आएगी। अगर आप ये पैसे के लिए कर रहे हो, पॉपुलर होने के लिए कर रहे हो, सोशल मीडिया पे फॉलोइंग के लिए कर रहे हो, वो बस जरूरी है, दैट्स अ पार्ट ऑफ द थिंग। बट अगर आपका वो मेन मकसद है, तो थोड़ा सा मुश्किल है, आई बी ऑनेस्ट। एंड होता क्या है कि कभी कभी 100 सक्सेसफुल लोगों में से एक दो लोग ऐसे निकल जाते हैं, जो किस्मत से या मार्केटिंग करके या कुछ फॉर्मूला, लेकिन वो एक दो एग्जाम्पल ही होते हैं। अगर आप मेजोरिटी देखोगे जो भी लंबा चलते हैं किसी भी आर्ट फॉर्म में, वो वही लोग होते हैं जो लोग अंदर से बहुत खुश हैं, जो अंदर से रोज मेहनत करते हैं, रोज अपनी आर्ट फॉर्म को नरिश करते हैं, उसको सीखते हैं, करते हैं। एंड दैट्स व्हाट इट वर्क्स। मेरे लिए तो ये दो चीजें हैं कि भाई आप ट्रुथ को फेस करो, और आप ये याद रखो कि कोई फॉर्मूला नहीं है, आपको अंदर से यू हैव टू जेन्युइनली लव व्हाट यू आर डूइंग।
Okay, okay. Thank you so much for that, Tarseem. I think it boils down to you. So I think feeling with the other person also gets it. Okay, so we're going to take a couple of questions from our attendees. Is asked this question, and Karan, I would request you to please answer this. And I think we've all heard this way too many times. How to tackle the standard question or standard statement? Can you hear me? How to tackle the standard statement? The client does not have budget, but we want the service. Karan, can you take that question on? See, you're smiling. I'm sure you heard it as well.
Yeah, the rod starts from the top. So it flows from the client all the way down. Trust me. So I think yes, this is a statement. Yes, we as agency have all been part of it, but there will be situation again. As I said, I think what Tarsen was also trying to say that there will be times when you would want to pick up a show, or there are times when you are saying, no, man, this is my value and I don't want to come down. It's up to you. So, as I said, with what attitude and with what communication you're trying to tell it to your agency, you should be very open. And as I said, you should be very straightforward in terms of what you feel at the point in time. You say it, I'm not I'll not, and this happened to us. I mean, I can take the names of some of the artists who said, no, we'll not be able to come down, and generally we had some issues and we let it go. But if there is some time where there are a situation where we can expand or something, we have done that, but we respect that. I think there is no harm. I think it's up to an artist who feels that yes, it's how desperate you are, or if you don't want to be. I mean, let's face the truth, ultimately you need income, and if you're doing it for a passion, if you have the perseverance, then I'll keep rejecting till I start getting what I deserve. You should do that. But there is no
Right. But
dodging
Karan,
that.
see,
You can't
sometimes,
dodge that question. You can't dodge that question, right? You have to face it, right? That'll happen, and it'll still happen. It'll keep happening.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I think that also there are other factors at play when you're saying yes or no. If it does not give your price, it's also about the brand that you'll be working with, the agency you'll be working with. So sometimes these factors, if they are top notch, then I think that you let certain things go. I agree with you that for work you should do that. The next question is for you, Tarseem, and I am also asking this question since Karan brought it up. So now you have to answer it. Karan spoke about how every artist should have an artist management agencies to collaborate and have like a universe that you are building together in the industry. So Sanchali, thank you for asking this question, Sanchali, and I'm glad that you asked this on my behalf as well. MCs struggle getting artist management agencies to represent them, especially if they are not celebrities. How to crack that code? Tarseem.
Okay, you're asking the question to the wrong guy. I always have felt that problems are opportunities. And if you read the history of artist managers in the world, uh, n- no successful artist manager has been able to build a career of anybody fresh. Okay, very rarely, very few. I mean, the percentage will be very few. In 99% cases, the artist and the manager both grow together. ओके। एंड एक बार अपने आसपास आप सारे आर्टिस्ट मैनेजर्स जो अच्छे हैं और सारे आर्टिस्ट जो अच्छे हैं, ध्यान से देखिएगा, दोनों का करियर साथ में ही बना होगा। ओके। हम हमेशा एज एन आर्टिस्ट ना सक्सेसफुल लोगों को ढूंढते हैं। वो गलत है। आपको ऐसे लोगों को ढूंढना चाहिए जो आपसे प्यार करते हैं, आपके टैलेंट में विश्वास करते हैं, और जो आपके लिए काम करना चाहते हैं और आपके लिए सपना देखते हैं। तो आर्टिस्ट मैनेजर आपको मिलेगा, लेकिन आप जिसको ढूंढ रहे हो ना, वो शायद ना मिले। आप हमेशा ढूंढोगे ऐसे आदमी को जो सबको जानता हो, जिसका सबसे कनेक्शन हो, जिसको नेगोशिएशन करना आता हो, जिसको मार्केटिंग करना आता हो, जिसको कॉन्ट्रैक्ट पढ़ना आता हो, जो आपके प्राइस को आगे बढ़ाए, आपकी अवेलेबिलिटी को वो ठीक करे, आपकी लाइफ में वैल्यू ऐड करे। दिस इज जनरली द रिक्वायरमेंट। बट अगर वो कोई भी एजेंसी है या टॉप एजेंसी है या इंसान अगर मान लो नहीं है, तो आप ये सोचो कि आप जिसका हाथ पकड़ोगे वो शायद एमसी की सबसे बड़ी एजेंसी बनेगी अगले साल। सो यू विल हैव टू फाइंड दैट पर्सन। एक 18 साल का लड़का या लड़की शायद आपके करियर में ज्यादा वैल्यू ऐड करे वर्सेस somebody लाइक मी। सो people there are people who are experienced, who might be great mentors, who might be great to have a conversation when you get stuck in a situation, बट अल्टीमेटली आर्टिस्ट मैनेजर आपके लिए वही फायदा करेगा जो आपसे बहुत प्यार करता हो, और जो जब आप सो रहे हो वो आपके बारे में सोचता हो, जब वो सुबह उठता है तो वो ये सोचता है कि आज मैं अपने आर्टिस्ट की लाइफ में क्या वैल्यू ऐड करूं, जब वो सोता है तो ये सोचता है कि आज मैंने क्या क्या किया और कल मैं क्या क्या करूंगा। बट वो स्किल हम ढूंढते नहीं है, हम कंपनीज और ब्रांड और वो ढूंढते हैं, तो शायद नहीं मिलता है।
So why don't you make a company like that?
Yeah,
यार
I
आई
was
एम
gonna say कहाँ मिल रहे हैं ये वाले आर्टिस्ट मैनेजर्स?
ये है मतलब देखो, आप हर रोज कोई ना कोई आर्टिस्ट ग्रो हो रहा है, हर कोई रोज कोई ना कोई मैनेजर ग्रो हो रहा है। अब ये वो अच्छी शादी के लिए अच्छा लड़का और अच्छी लड़की मिलने वाली बात है कि
No, I
A
कहाँ
agree to
very tough
I agree
task
to
ये बात
disagree
नहीं
on
कर
that.
रहे।
I agree to
नहीं, कोई ऐसा
disagree.
फॉर्मूला थोड़ी है कि अच्छी शादी के लिए अच्छा पार्टनर मिल जाए, ऐसे कोई जरूरी तो नहीं है ना। वही वाली बात है कि आपको ढूंढना पड़ेगा, ये आपको ट्राई करना पड़ेगा। आप किसी एक साथ के
So
एक
Karan, please
बंदे के साथ
elaborate on
काम
that.
करोगे।
Sorry.
But Tarsim, Karan agrees to disagree, but I would like to hear the disagreeing version also. That
Well,
how would you think different from Tarsim?
I feel that I don't know if anyone has seen a movie called Jerry Maguire. Has anyone seen a movie
Of
called Jerry
course.
Maguire? I think it's a great, I mean, I'm coming from that. You have to have a vision and a mission statement in life. And I think I've heard Jeff Bezos saying that if you want to create a business and if that business can actually help and transform people's life, you're in the right direction. Of course, how you implement that business and how you create those elements are very important. And I think Tarsim has created one business such like, and I'm on road to create another one. But having said that I think as what he said, the reason why I'm saying that is that if you I don't see real talent management happening in our country. I'll be very honest. I don't see it. I feel that the talent management, what definition, what I have seen of people, XYZ of people I know from outside world, I don't think India mein wo ho raha hai or that definition has been being done in the right way. And I'm yet to see, and this is my personal feeling. I'm not trying to quote anyone. I'm yet to see an agency or a talent manager who says was exactly what Tarsim said. Ki I get up in the morning thinking about an artist and how I will transform, and I put logic behind it. I create a whole strategy behind. I'm yet to see that. I yet to see that in entertainment point of view or in sports point of view. I yet to see. I have not seen it, and therefore I see a huge gap, and I feel a lot of I see this opportunity that if people can come and do something, I think you can really do wonders.
So I'll just add, Karan, एक्चुअली बहुत लोग हैं, बहुत अच्छा काम कर रहे हैं, लेकिन प्रॉब्लम ये है कि जब तक वो सक्सेसफुल नहीं होते हैं वो दिखते नहीं है। जैसे फॉर एग्जांपल आयुष्मान सिन्हा, 4-5 साल पहले लोग उनकी बात नहीं करते थे। टुडे ही हैज क्रिएटेड, मीन ही बीन अ पार्ट ऑफ जर्नी ऑफ अनुज जैन, वन ऑफ द मोस्ट सक्सेसफुल आर्टिस्ट एंड वन ऑफ द मोस्ट सक्सेसफुल एग्जाम्पल। ऐसे बहुत सारे एक्ट उन्होंने किए हैं। सो ऐसे बहुत सारे लोग हैं जो ऑलरेडी बहुत अच्छा काम कर रहे हैं, लेकिन उनके काम के बारे में पता नहीं चलता है जब तक एक बहुत स्ट्रॉन्ग रिजल्ट नहीं आता है। तो इंडिया इज एक्चुअली ऑन द राइट पाथ, एंड यू विल बी सरप्राइज अगले 2-3 साल में इतनी अच्छी अच्छी कंपनीज और आर्टिस्ट मैनेजर आ रहे हैं। बट हमको अपने वो कुएं के बाहर जाना पड़ता है उसके लिए। प्रॉब्लम क्या है कि हम गिने चुने 10-20 लोगों से बात करते हैं, और उन 10-20 लोगों को ही हमने मान लिया कि इनको सब कुछ पता है। ठीक है, रियलिटी में ऐसा नहीं है। जो नए लोग हैं वो शायद आपके पड़ोस में ही है, शायद कोई है जो आपसे बात करना चाहता है, जो आपके लिए काम करना चाहता है, लेकिन हम उसको अपॉर्चुनिटी नहीं दे रहे हैं बिकॉज हमको उसको कुछ समझते नहीं है एग्जैक्टली हाउ जो बड़े इवेंट मैनेजर हैं, मान लो अगर मैं एक एमसी हूँ, वो मुझे कुछ नहीं समझते हैं, लेकिन मैं बहुत टैलेंटेड हूँ मुझे लगता है, और मुझे अगर मौका मिलेगा तो मैं स्टेज पे जाके मतलब क्रेजी कर दूंगा या कर दूंगी। वैसे लोग हैं, हमारे देश में 140 करोड़ लोग हैं, और कितने लोग हैं जो अभी भी आगे बढ़ना चाहते हैं, काम करना चाहते हैं। तो मेरे ख्याल से वो आसपास देख के ट्राई करने की बात है। आप किसी के साथ ट्राई करो 2-3 महीने, लगता है कि नहीं हुआ तो उस बैगेज मतलब उस रिलेशनशिप का, उससे सीखो, आगे बढ़ो। हो सकता है आपकी पहली रिलेशनशिप परफेक्ट हो सकता है 10वीं परफेक्ट मिले, लेकिन आप रोज अपने ऊपर कुछ ना कुछ कर रहे हो। लेकिन हम ना परफेक्ट रिलेशनशिप के चक्कर में रिलेशनशिप ही शुरू नहीं करते हैं। So most artists and manager, this is the biggest problem. I mean, I have met multiple artists who have met me 2 years back and 2 years later, and they are exactly in the same situation. Their questions are the same, their problems are the same, but in the last 2 years, they could not trust or believe anybody. So ये थोड़ा सा डिफिकल्ट, मतलब कोई कोई तरीका तो नहीं है, तो ट्राई तो करना पड़ेगा। तो लोग तो हैं करण, मतलब देयर आर टन्स ऑफ किड्स हु आर रियली रियली good, and one of the biggest reason I am also not managing artists right now, because the young breed and the young lots are much better than us, because they are born on Instagram, they're born on Spotify। आज के दिन Spotify, Instagram, Snapchat, TikTok, YouTube, AI, ये सारी चीजें आपको आनी पड़ेंगी। और अगर आप नहीं आओगे, अगर आपको नहीं आती है या आप नहीं काम जानते हो, तो ऑब्वियसली आप रिप्लेस हो जाओगे। तो अभी यंगर लॉट जो है ना, वो इतना फास्ट है कि समटाइम्स यू फील कि यार ये तो हम कर ही नहीं पाएंगे। सो देर आर टन्स ऑफ पीपल, सॉरी आई आई कीप एडवोकेटिंग, बट आई एम 100% श्योर while वी आर डूइंग दिस पैनल, एक आर्टिस्ट मैनेजर बहुत बड़ी कंपनी बॉर्न हो रही है इंडिया में, और 2030 तक दे विल बी मोर देन 200 कंपनीज, आई कैन अश्योर यू।
आई थिंक वो यही है, इस अपस्किलिंग फर्स्ट एडिशन वर्कशॉप में ही बॉर्न हो रही है, करण, एज करण has suggested so you
I'm
never know, something great might turn out of this.
Yeah, I'm very happy, and that should be the idea for this, session. That if we can create alliances, I always believe in that. Yeah, great ideas coming from small,
Conversations, you never
Yeah,
know
yeah,
where
yeah.
it escalates.
Hmm.
But I think what Tarseem said, that social media also plays a massive factor, and क्योंकि आजकल के जो artists हैं, they are much more with it as compared to the older artists, because they have the know-how of social media. That brings me also that the next edition of the upskilling workshop is about social media. So everybody who's attended today, please be sure to attend our next series as well. And I would also like to end this panel discussion here by saying that I read something somewhere that Kris Jenner, who's responsible for the Kardashian kingdom all across the world, she said if as an artist or as a performer, if you're hearing a no from somebody, then you're asking the wrong person. You just need to go to the right person to hear a yes. So
Yes.
be at it, everybody. It's all about loving what you do and to show it on stage. When you're a performer, you're an artist. You just need to love to entertain and see those smiles on people's faces. So thank you so much, Karan, and thank you so much, Tarseem, for such an interesting discussion and for wonderful insights. It was an absolute pleasure to have this conversation with both of you.
Same
थैंक यू
here.
Thank you
पवलीन,
so much.
थैंक यू।
Thank you so much.
And now I give the stage again, the screen again, to our wonderful MC Jyoti. Thank you so much, everybody. Enjoy the rest of the session, and we'll see you soon.
Thank you very much, Pavleen. I enjoyed the discussion. There was so much to learn. I was also making notes. I'm sure this candid conversation will help you very much, dear panelists. I'm sure you all were super excited, as was I, and there were so many questions that we couldn't take up because of the time constraint. But then, yes, thank you to the panelists and thank you to the moderator for handling the session extremely well. The experts really took a turnaround by agreeing and not agreeing, each other's context, and it was on another level. We started this conversation by thinking about negotiation, monetary values, and then we also spoke about how you can bring value to the table. And then we also spoke about talent management agencies, collaborating along with them. There's so much to discuss, there's so much to think about. And I think today's session was purely a brainstorming and mind opening session wherein we should start thinking that yes, there's a lot more behind only talking about money. So I would like to once again thank the entire team of our EMA Secretariat for extending their massive support. Preeti ji, Khyati, Rimi, Ankita, Tushar, thank you very much. Our dear President for his constant encouragement. Our EVP for being great friend with artists. And EMA always takes care of its artist members and upbringing and growth. General Secretary Taranveer sir, thank you very much for being until the end with all of us, though with your busy time schedule. And thanks once again to Mihir for being here with us, Karan, Tarseem, and Pavleen, and Gitika. Yes, of course, Gitika as well. Ladies and gentlemen, I just want to leave this session with a very per se that know your worth, speak it well, negotiate like a pro, but understand what negotiate would mean to each one of you. Just stay tuned. The upskilling series has just begun. There are more sessions to come. Let's grow together. The next session is on 31st May, and the topic is how to grow on social media, how to drive yourself on social media as we are in the live events industry. So keep watching this space for more. I, Anchor Jyoti Sukumar, sign off, leaving you all with high energy and positive note. Stay tuned for the next session. Take care. Bye bye.